It is. I put in the motion. But it's
Good morning. I see we got some people in uniform today. Welcome. We have quorum, and I would call the third meeting of the Scarborough Community Council to order. Welcome to all members of Community Council and, of course, to the members of the public and the media. We acknowledge the land we're meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississauga of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, and the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people, and is now home of many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with Mississaugas of the Credit. I understand from the clerk that we have two new items of business. I understand that they're before you on white paper. May I have a motion to add the first item of new business, letter from Councillor Cynthia Lai, appeal to Toronto Appeal Body TLAB of Committee of Adjustment Applications for 1972 Brimley Road to the agenda. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. May I have a motion to add the second item of new business, letter for myself, updated ridership projections along Shepherd Avenue East Corridor to the agenda? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Are there any declarations of interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act? If so, please indicate the item number and the nature of the interest. Okay. May I have a motion to confirm the minutes of the Scarborough Community Council meeting of January 15th, 2019? So moved. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Let's proceed with the rundown of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, may I take a moment to recognize some of the guests here in the audience, or the, it's on?
Okay. Yeah. Please, go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning. As you're aware, on Thursday, January 31st, there was a devastating fire at Agincourt Recreation Center in my ward, Ward 23 of Scarborough North. As a result of this fire, the entire facility had to be closed. Fortunately, there were no casualties. I would like to recognize the staff from the community recreation who were instrumental in evacuating patrons from the Agincourt Community Center during the fire that occurred at the facility, and as well as the Toronto Fire staff who worked tirelessly, the EMS, the police, and even the TTC. They've provided us with a bus for to serve the location in the very frigid condition over the course of multiple days to extinguish the fire. And I would also like to recognize program staff from community recreation who have worked diligently to relocate programs and permits from Agincourt to other city facilities. I understand a number of staff from these divisions are here today. I would like to ask those staff who are here to please stand to be recognized by all of us. Could you please?
Come down. Counselor, why don't you ask them to come down?
If they come down here, we'll take a photo together. Could you, if you can all come down, please, and then we can take a photo up just to recognize.
Good morning. We would like to recognize you in the center. Would you please come on down?
Yeah, just.
stand over here.
Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you so much.
We'll be in touch.
Okay,
I'll be in touch.
good job.
I have to tell you that I had, my daughters all were managers at the, at Agincourt Pool. And first question that I was asked by my daughter, when are they building and I want to take my daughter? She goes to learn how to swim. So, Mr. Siao, you got a lot of work ahead of you, sir. And we thank you to everybody that was involved. Thank you very much, and thank you, Counselor. All right, folks, as we run down the agenda, if there's any holds, please let me know. SC 3.1, appointments to Business Improvement Area Boards of Management. SC 3.2, 2872-2882 Kingston Road zoning amendment application, preliminary report, Ward 20.
I'll move the staff recommendations.
Opposed? Carried. SC 3.3, 113-141 Montezuma Trail official plan and zoning amendment application, preliminary report, Ward 23. Counselor?
I move for staff recommendation.
You want to send the attachment area?
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
on that particular item, I have not had a chance to speak with the counselor. We just hold it for a minute. I actually have a couple of words
This
that I
is
just want to
SC
convey to.
3.3, hold.
That's correct, Montezuma Trail, and then we can deal with it after.
Okay,
No problem.
okay.
SC 3.4, Assumption of Services, Register Plan 66M-2485, 1841 Nielsen Road, Ferrybrook Homes Oasis Limited, Ward 23.
Oh. I move for staff recommendation.
I think today's a Cynthia Lai Day. SC 3.5, Residential Demolition Application, 121 Victoria Park Avenue, Ward 20.
Thank you. I'll move option number 1, which is to approve the application with,
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. SC 3.6, Residential Demolition Application, 2201 Kingston Road, Ward 20.
again, approve number 1 with conditions.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. SC 3.7, Always Stop, Carnwood Drive and Knightsbridge Road, Ward 20.
I'll move staff recommendations.
In favor? Opposed? Carried. SC 3.8, Stop and Prohibition, Pacino Boulevard, Ward 21. Counselor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move the recommendations. I'd like to also ask for a recorded vote on this item, please.
All right. Recorded vote. All those in favor? Counselor Crawford, Counselor Ainsley, myself, Counselor Calvary, Counselor Lai, Counselor Thompson. All in favor. SC 3.9, Stop and Prohibition, Slamaroo Drive, Ward 22, myself. I move staff recommendations. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. SC 3.10, Standing Prohibition, Whitley Castle Crescent, Ward 23.
I move for staff recommendation.
All in favor? Carried. Standing Prohibition, Scottfield Drive, Ward 23. Counselor.
I move for staff recommendation.
In favor? Opposed? Carried. SC 3.2, School Bus Loading Zone, 1965 Brimley Road.
I move for staff recommendation.
In favor? Opposed? Carried. SC 3.13, Pedestrian Crossing Protection Review, Warden Avenue and Walburn Road, Ward 21.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am going to agree with the staff recommendations as opposed to moving them. And then I'm going to ask for a recorded vote on this item, please.
All right, all those in favor, hands up, please. Councillor Crawford, Councillor Henley, myself, Councillor McElroy, Councillor Lai, Councillor Thompson. Carried. SC 3.14, Pedestrian Crossing Protection Review, Passmore Avenue and Mayburg Drive. Councillor.
I move for staff recommendation.
In favor? Opposed? Carried. We're done. We're done? Okay. I'm going to sort of deviate. I forgot to do this at the beginning. I've got something, a presentation in my ward. If that's okay, we can do it at the end or we can do it now? Do it at the end? I'm sure the pastor can wait. Okay. The walk-on items. We have Councillor Lai.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion actually to appeal the to the Toronto L-Lab for T-Lab for the application on 1972 Brimley Road.
All right, so your recommendations 1 and 2, is this what you're moving, Councillor?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Just hold that.
put the brakes on, folks.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I think there's some modification of the motion, if I may ask staff to put on the screen.
Okay. Somebody speaking? Yeah. Okay, so you want to hold it? You want to hold it down?
Okay, we'll hold this for now.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
There was also something that I brought on. If staff can put that on the screen, I would like to move a motion to that, please. We're putting it on? It's okay. No, no. Should we put it on an overhead? Yeah, okay. No, no. This is mine. Do you want 5 minutes? Okay. Thank you. What I'm asking for is that we ask staff to take a look what is happening on the corridor, Shepherd Avenue East. I am having all kinds of development coming my way, fast and furious, and I've got Agincourt Mall, I've got Cowdrey, I've got Village Green on Shepherd all along the way, so I'm asking for staff to take a look at what we're proposing to do along the corridor. Okay. All in favor? Yes, sir.
Just want to confirm that you have, number one, have confirmed with staff that they could do this in Q2.
I've spoken to staff.
Have you spoken with staff?
I
And
have
can they
had
confirm?
meetings with staff, and I hope that they can do it in Q2.
The question was, have they confirmed to you that they can achieve
No,
this?
they haven't.
Okay. Then I would like to ask a question of staff then, if I could. Can you achieve this in Q2 to bring this information back to us?
Through the chair, right now, City Planning is undertaking Phase 2 of their official plan review transportation policies. That's where these discussions have occurred as recently as yesterday at our community meeting here. I think that the review would be very beneficial. I think it'll be a challenge to get it at Q2, so if you could suggest Q2 and/or Q3, that may give us a little more time, because it is a question of determining of these projects, which ones are approved, which ones are not, what would be the real numbers generated from those projects in order to have an accurate number for council. And if I may add as well, I'm not sure if typically transportation reports go through either executive committee or planning and housing committee, and perhaps the clerk might provide us advice in that regard.
Clerk?
I think I'm waiting for the clerk to respond, or?
Yeah,
If I may repeat through the chair, again, I spoke about timing, but the other issue is when we bring a report back, typically reports that deal with transportation, major citywide transportation projects, they come through either executive committee or planning and housing committee. So we would look for direction from the clerk in terms of where this report would come back to.
Hello, hi. Typically, transportation-related reports would go up through executive. However, in situations like this, if the scope of the report was kept to matters specifically within the boundaries of Scarborough Community Council, it could be appropriate for the report to come back here if it was specifically providing information to Scarborough Community Council.
thank you.
So it's just, again, Mr. Chair, it's just, I mean, again, whether it sounds as if there'll be a challenge to get it in Q2 we can keep it at Q2, it may not happen, or we can just expand it to Q2 or Q3 to give staff the proper time.
I understand staff have to report something back by the end of May. Would I be right, Mr. Zuliani? You have to report back something at the end of Q2, end of May or something, if I'm from the meeting last night? So this would be something that ties into that?
Through the chair, there would be some OP report findings, but it didn't anticipate these calculations. So again, I'm just suggesting to be conservative, a little more time would give us that time needed to do accurate work for council.
Can I ask a question? Can we leave it at Q2, and if you need some more time, you can come back to us?
Certainly, if that's the approach, we could do a status report indicating in Q2 that we either have the numbers or we need a little more time, and we'll bring them back for Q3.
Is that okay with everybody? All right. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Yes, oh, sorry, yes. Go ahead, Councillor. I understand that we have a speaker on your item, Councillor? Yes. Jespir Johal, would you come down, sir? You got 5 minutes. Sir, you got 5 minutes. May proceed. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the council for giving me this chance to speak. On January 30th, our application was approved at the Committee of Adjustment for the property on Brimley Road. At the hearing, there were no oppositions from individuals, corporations, or associations. There were no comments from the councilor office either. Today, I stand in front of the council to request a decision to be made on fairness. I'm not asking an appeal should be allowed or not be allowed. I'm requesting the council to review this motion thoroughly and decide if the motion should really be passed. On January 18th, I went to the counselor office to give an overview of the application and what we're proposing. Our meeting was brief and asked the counselor if they will be in supporting or in opposition. Counselor stated she does not support nor oppose this application. Committee of Adjustment meeting happened on 30th, and as mentioned, there were no opposition or any comments from the counselor's office. The application was approved. On February 10th, I was given news that the Community Association was not very pleased with the approval passed by the committee, and they will be requesting the counselors to appeal. On Monday, February 11th, I called the counselor's office and asked the staff if there will be an appeal from the counselor office. The staff confirmed yes. I requested to have a meeting with the counselor to discuss why she was in opposition now, when prior to the committee meeting, she did not have any opposition. Staff said her schedule was very busy, but they had me a chance to speak to the counselor on the phone as she was between meetings. In our quick call, I asked the counselor, why are we appealing a decision which has been passed by the city's Committee of Adjustment, and she answered, and I quote, "They're not qualified people to make decisions, and they made the wrong decision." And the counselor also said that few people in the neighborhood have shown concern with the approval. And I looked into the Committee of Adjustment. Committee of Adjustment is composed of individuals who are registered professionals with 20 and 35 years of planning experience. In their genuine and fair manner, the committee analyzed the variance and consent brought forth and made their individual decision abiding by the bylaw, and this being a minor variance and in compliance with the official plan and provincial policy, and granted this approval without any influence, to which the counselor states they are incompetent in the decision. I believe it is very unethical of the counselor to say that this file was approved by unqualified people in the committee. There were a total of 28 hearings that day. If our hearing is appealed solely on the incompetence of the committee, the rest of the 27 applications should be appealed, as it was the same committee members who passed those decisions. Also, if the appeal is being requested by someone who has shown concern, did they submit their concern in writing? If these concerns are by the neighborhood association, as I have been informed, did they provide a list of how many neighbors are really in opposition to this? I believe that it is unfair to be biased and listen to a couple of the neighborhood association members who did not even go out of the committee and get a signed list of individuals who are in opposition. 3 of those association members, including the president, are in conflict of interest because now their properties are similar to ours, and they will be putting an application in the future if our decision is firm and binding. I stand in front of the council with a list of individuals who are in favor of the council and this decision. I would like to remind everyone, council, there is no direct neighbors who were in opposition. Everyone in the 60-meter radius where the letters were sent off committee adjustment, no one objected. I believe it is unethical and unfair to the committee association to request the council to use the city budget to launch an appeal. I ask for the council, as a resident of the Scarborough community, will I be given the same city support? There are a lot of residents who are in support. If they come to the council for support, will the council show favoritism to one group over the other? Council, I'm not asking for approval or rejection. I'm asking for fairness. If I want to say, if an individual corporation or an association...
Sure. I caution you, you're making a personal attack on the councillor. Please refrain from doing so.
Sorry about that,
And
Chair.
let's continue. I don't think this is appropriate, or else I'll cut you off.
Thank you. I believe if residents who are in support, if they want to show an appeal, they should appeal so themselves. If any individual corporation or association want to appeal, they should do it at their own cost. And so I request the council to make a decision in fairness. If the council is for the people who appeal, the council, where are they for support? Thank you for council for hearing.
Well, they've written
All right, thank you. Any questions of the deputant? Yes, Councillor Crawford.
Thank you, sir. I don't know if you were or read, but on attachment 2 that went to the Committee of Adjustment, that our planning staff, our professional planning staff, also recommended that the committee refuse this application. It's not just the council, it was actually our professional staff recommended that refuse this application. Were you aware of that?
Yes, we were aware of that, and on the Committee of Adjustment Day, our planner that was with us put on a presentation to the Committee of Adjustment showing how this proposed development is in line with the official plan, how the infrastructure is improving the city. And after our presentation, the Committee of Adjustment believed this was a fair proposal, and after that they proceed to move this motion forward to approve.
Yeah, but and so with regard to the next steps, and I appreciate the Committee of Adjustment is a separate entity that makes decisions on its own, but it's not just the council, it's actually our professional planning staff who are in agreement that this needs to appeal. So as part of a one group, and it'll be, you know, if this motion goes through, of course, the city will go there to appeal this, but it's that opportunity for both parties to make their presentations. But I just want to reiterate that it was our planning staff, our professional planning staff, that also supported the motion that the council is moving forward on. Thank you.
Thank you.
You mentioned that there were 27, I got a couple of questions for you. You mentioned there were 27 items?
No, there was 27 other items on the committee adjustment list that day.
Are you aware that on one of those items, there was a letter from a counselor asking the committee to go one way and the committee chose to go another way? You alluded that, are you aware of that?
No, I didn't say that there were
Didn't say
letters.
that, okay. All right, sir, just for the record, there was one item on there that I wrote to the committee, and the committee chose to ignore my letter. So making wild statements like this, please refrain. All right, thank you. Any other questions of the deputant? Thank you, sir, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Questions of staff? Okay, ready for the vote? All right, all those in favor? You got,
As amended, I think we're going to put this
Okay, we
motion
have an amendment?
on the screen. Just this minor amendment to this. Yeah,
okay, all right, Councillor Lai, we do have an amendment.
well,
All right, Councillor.
okay, the amendment, recommendation will be the city council direct the city solicitor to appeal the decision of the Committee of Adjustment Scarborough panel to the TLAB in order to oppose the approval of applicant's proposed development for 1972 Brimley Road. And City Council authorized the city solicitor and appropriate staff to attend the TLAB to oppose the Committee of Adjustment's decision to retain outside consultant as necessary. And City Council authorized the city solicitor to attempt to negotiate a resolution of the appeal, and if a resolution is reached, to settle the appeal at the city solicitor's discretion and in consultation with the ward councillor and the chief planner and executive director of city planning. And if I may ask for a recorded vote for this?
Sure. Any questions? We're good to go? All right, folks. All those in favor, recorded vote. Councillor Crawford, Councillor Ainsley, Councillor Karygiannis, Councillor McElvery, Councillor Lai, Councillor Thompson opposed. Carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If I can lift the hold on SC 3.3, please. Yeah, but I think he's fine with it now.
Councillor, you're okay with it? Okay, so,
And I just wanted to maybe move that, to amend the notice to 300 meters instead, as amended. And the cost to be borne by the applicants. And
Coun-
also record a vote for that.
Councillor, can I make a friendly amendment?
300 meters.
I was wondering if you would consider going to 500 meters.
You want 500?
But that might,
Okay. Okay,
we can go to 6?
keep going.
Sure, she doesn't need this motion. You don't need the motion.
You don't
I'm
need
told,
motion.
But if you want to, is it okay with everybody?
Yeah,
We're good to go.
just a point of order, Council, and I picked this up too. The way they're going to be doing these kind of motions where we, in prior meetings, we had to do the extension ourselves, it's actually born in the motion that they will consult with us, and you don't actually have to move the motion now.
Okay.
So,
All right, new changes. Thank you.
Record a vote, please, Mr. Chair.
Sure. Recorded vote. Councillor Crawford, Councillor Ainsley, Councillor Karygiannis, Councillor McElvery, Councillor Lai, Councillor Thompson, carried.
Thank you.
I'm told by staff that we have to reopen something. Item SC 3.9, which is mine, that in accordance with the provision, can we put the, up, please, up on the board? Scarborough Community Council to consider item SC 3.9. And those are the new recommendations. Marco? Okay. Any questions? Nope. Questions of staff? Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. I think we're done. Yes? Who's moving it? Who's? I got it. Before we close, can I make a presentation to, well, I won't say what I call him, but if the pastor and his flock were to come down, there was a flock congregation. We had a 40th anniversary of St. Paul's Lamoureux in the ward, and I have to tell you, 40 years certainly goes a long way. So, colleagues, if you would like to join me for us to take a photo op, and Rev, I want to thank you for bringing your flock down. Your congregation.
The agenda is not that strong, so it's,
All right, here we go. Thanks, Paul. Counselor, thank you so much.
Right here, right? Colleagues. Councillor Crawford? No. Councillor Crawford? Councillor Crawford? Nah, I don't want to do that. They asked me to do this, but I won't. May I have a motion to introduce and pass the general bills? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. May I have a motion to introduce and pass the confirmatory bill? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap. Is it record time?
Can we all go to Toronto Community Council now? We get out.
40 minutes. Motion to adjourn.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to staff. And thank you for your help, ladies. I really appreciate it. You want this back?
Yeah, I can recycle it for you, and we'll have a new one, of course, for the next.
Thank you very much. Okay, where you want to get some more? Here we go. Thank you very, very much.
No problem.
40 minutes. Wow.
Jeez. Efficiency.
There you go. There's some more stuff for you.
All right.
Thank you very, very much.
Behind you are
Thank you.
very welcome.
Thank you. This is yours? Fine. Okay, I'll keep it.
You can certainly have that. Thank you so much for today. Really appreciate that.
40 minutes.
That was a bit of a record.
I'm gonna go back.
To make a small change to certificate.
Yeah.
He's gonna write it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, we presented to.
To stick to the inside of the igloo that we all had up here in Canada. My kids were like, Dad, you went viral on Twitter today. Like, what the hell happened?
And you're like, clearly, yeah.
They're
But you,
Excellent.
it is.
Yes, he does.
The day, you've got some
It would have to be chocolates because I'm only allowed to buy white bread.
Chocolates are fine. Chocolates are fine. When are we going to say no to chocolates? Chocolates how we get through the day. I think there should be a study that says that it keeps us neutral, happy. Yeah. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that.
happy to, that was a bit of a whirlwind.
I'm just gonna tweet that picture out. Happy Valentine's Day, best
see what-
community council meeting ever.